Good afternoon, guys. So what's the update? What's the update to Mr. Thomas Crooks? Matthew Thomas Crooks. What's the update? The update is the police knew about this for about 3 hours. Not just an hour, not 30 minutes like we were originally told. He was actually reported to have been doing stuff or looking suspicious for like a solid 3 hours. They had taken pictures and photos and communicated back and forth about this. That's what we know. We also know that there's a new article that came out today that said they suspect, or they're sure, it can go both. They're not sure if it's the day of or if it was days before. He had a drone up looking at the property. So he used a drone to observe the layout of the property. And the article says it's vague. It says it could be the day of that the police were talking about, or it could have been several days before. They're not sure, but they know that the police said they have hard suspicion, evidence, whatever, that this is something that he's done. Which I wouldn't put it past him, because if you look at all the articles that talk about people that have interviewed about him, like his classmates and teachers and stuff like that, he was a whiz. He was in like coding classes for computers and building computers and video gaming, and he was a loner with only just a couple friends that he spoke to, and they say he was like bullied and stuff, but then other people are like, no, he wasn't bullied. So we're kind of getting conflicting information on what was actually going on in his life. The whole registered as a Republican thing, that's all thrown out. People aren't even using it as a talking point anymore because they know that that's hogwash. The dude had more to do with socialist type, democratic type events and donating money and stuff like that than anything else. The whole registering as a Republican thing is a tactic to vote for the lesser of the two strength-wise when it comes to a Republican candidate, so then that candidate can go up against the stronger Democratic candidate during the final, and that's how people vote towards the stronger person, which is the Democrat versus the Republican, and they're taught and coached to do this type of thing. And I guess some states allow it, or some crap people are saying. I don't really know. But I know that this kid, 20 years old, had his whole life ahead of him, was excellent in school. He was a whiz. They said he always went above and beyond when it came to schoolwork and homework assignments and helping people and stuff like that. He was a dietary aide at a nursing home in the kitchen, and he was a very caring, loving person in general, but very quiet. A lot of this doesn't make sense. And then if you look into the Trumps, what did Eric Trump say about the Secret Service agent that was fumbling her weapon around and stuff like that and couldn't find her holster? And Eric Trump was like, "Oh, nobody should have anything bad to say about her at all. She's very caring and very supportive of the Trump family, especially Mr. Donald Trump. She's always been an outstanding servant to the security of him when he's out in public and stuff, and always goes above and beyond to make sure that he's taken care of. That nobody should have anything bad to say about her, even though she was fumbling her weapon and didn't know how to put it away, and she's saying, what are we doing, what are we doing, what are we doing, while everybody else was trying to move in a direction." He was praising her. He was praising all of them. He said everybody that was there with Trump from the Secret Service typically are on top of it, 100% for him. To me, I would have been like, wait a second, this is not the best. My father deserves the best. And that's not what happened. If you listen to what Eric Trump says, he's like, this is a local kind of law enforcement failure type thing. They had the responsibility of outside the venue. They should have had that roof secured. That roof was supposed to be secured, and it wasn't secured. And there's also reports that they were standing there for so long and certain people needed breaks that some of them did get to leave and go relieve themselves or get something to drink or snack on or something like that. And they were pulled away from that area, and somebody was originally looking after that area. This is all so conflicting. And then why were the people, there were certain people there that didn't make sense to even be there at his event. And people are saying, they're just lookalikes. They're, people will find anybody to say, well, look at that. That's Jacob so-and-so, or that's Shirley so-and-so. No, it's not. It's not them. And then the whole Jonathan Willis name with the sniper that took out Crooks is floating all over Facebook. It popped up on like Channel 4 something whatever, and it popped up as an anonymous name and said, hey, I'm the guy, Jonathan Willis, that took out Crooks, and I was relieved of my job duties afterwards because I was told not to do anything, and I decided to take the shot anyway after he had already gotten some shots off. Unfortunately, some people got hurt, and one guy got killed, and Trump got injured, but I took the shot against what my superiors were telling me. And they gave this name Jonathan Willis. But whenever the fact-checking different news reporting agencies and stuff like that actually reach out to figure out, is there such thing as a Jonathan Willis, they reach out to the Butler police. They said, wait, there's no Jonathan Willis here. And the Secret Service said there's nobody by the name of Jonathan Willis. They're also trained to not release information and names after an event like this happens because of the severity of what could happen to them. So none of them would have even went to social media so early, but out of fear for ruining the rest of their life. So it doesn't make sense for somebody to come forward and be like, oh, this Jonathan Willis, and then there's no accounted name of that person in the Secret Service or the local police department. So that was made up. And these different medias and big YouTubers and influencers and stuff are running with it and telling the story all over the place as this some heroic Jonathan Willis, and we need to stand behind him. But yet we've seen no video of him, no pictures of him, nothing confirming that Jonathan Willis was the sniper. And it was said that the two snipers that were on the roof were not the ones that actually took the shot. It was a different counter sniper somewhere else that was hidden that took the shot. And it wasn't those two, because those two didn't even have their hand on the weapon to fire in a firing position when he got shot. They were startled by the shots coming in, and they were backing off and then trying to re-engage and get their hands on the weapon. It was another sniper that took them out, they're saying. Or that took Crooks out. This all seems so wonky. With the Trumps supporting all the Secret Service agents saying they didn't do anything wrong, they did everything perfectly, they did what they had to do, and then the local police department not trying to assume some kind of responsibility for it, the Secret Service director not trying to assume some kind of responsibility for it, and her herself is she's in a position she's in charge of the Secret Service, and she came from PepsiCo. She was security for PepsiCo or something like that. She didn't even really have any kind of high-profile experience with security other than that. And then with all the implementation of new rules and regulations and stuff by her, it's completely ridiculous. I don't know what to really say overall about none of this makes any sense. How the people that got attacked are being supportive of the people that dropped the ball. How the different pieces of information from the teachers and the students and the different media outlets and stuff are saying one thing, that he was bullied, he wasn't bullied. He was bullied, he wasn't bullied. People saying how awesome of a guy he was, yet he had a van with explosives in it and a home with explosives in it and a detonator on his body when they found him. As if he was going to use the bomb, the detonation of whatever was in the van to explode as a distraction after he shot, so people would run away or to that area and then he could get out of there. His parents had no idea that any of this was going on, that their son was doing these types of things. I mean, I guess they say he was a genius. He could hack computers, code computers, all kinds of stuff. This just really Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I'm hoping that it will make sense soon. But that's the latest and greatest update. A bunch of shenanigans and more stories of things that we don't even know if it's true. Y'all be blessed. Take care. I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe. And, yeah, Godspeed.